आपको सक्सेसफुल बनना है, कामयाब बनना है, तो ये दो चार चीजें हैं जो आपको नहीं करनी। एक तो खाना मत खाइएगा प्लीज, खाने में परेशान हो जाए, खाना खाना है, सोना है, आराम करना है। आपको सक्सेसफुल होना है तो आपको परेशान रहना है, टेंस रहना है, ब्लड प्रेशर होना पड़ेगा, सोना नहीं चाहिए। बी रेस्टफुल एंड एट पीस इफ यू वांट टू बी सक्सेसफुल। कि सोना आराम हराम है, कोई जरूरत नहीं है सोने वोने की। आई एम एनवियस ऑफ पीपल हु रिलैक्स एंड रेस्ट। आई फील jealous of people who don't want to be successful, because success will not come unless you are completely restless. You have to be like that.
So the video we just watched, he's actually the superstar of Indian cinema, Shah Rukh Khan. And I'm sure he's got a lot of fans who probably love everything he says. Well, India, originally where I'm from, I'm a huge fan of this guy too. But I don't agree with what he said in that video. He said, don't be happy. Pursue success relentlessly. Don't sleep, don't eat, forget about all that. Just have laser focus pursuit of success. So it got me thinking. If, number one, this guy's supposed to be, well, he is one of the most successful actors in India, so supposedly one of the happiest people around, because we equate success with money, we equate success with happiness, equate success with accomplishment, and so on and so forth. A bigger house, a bigger car, and eventually all those things lead us to happiness, right? Three primary questions to which I wanted an answer. And of course, I mean, on a philosophical level, these are questions that plague us all the time. Number one, does success make us happy? Number two, does money make us happy? And number three, what is the biggest regret that people have when they're dying or in their old age? So I decided to do a little research on this. Well, obviously, this is something that when we're young, we're taught that become successful, study hard, get good grades, get a great job, open a huge business, whatever, be successful, and that will eventually make you happy. So, does success make you happy? Or does happiness make you successful?
I thought it would be good to be rich and famous. It would be good to be the opposite of this. It would be good to have stuff. It would be good to have money. It would be good to be invited to the party. Well, I've been invited. I've been in. We're having this chat in a private Swish members club in East London. It's super cool. There's bare brick walls. Everyone's double good looking. But I've been inside now. I've seen the other side of the looking glass. It ain't fucking worth it. It's not good. It don't feed your soul. I still feel empty.
Success makes you happy to a point. The initial euphoria that you feel when you start becoming successful, the initial high, the adrenaline rush, the dopamine hits that a certain degree of success can bring you, may feel like it's making you happy. But if it makes you happy, why does this happiness go away? Why is it that after getting to a certain level of success, we're not that happy anymore? Have you ever thought about that? I'm sure a lot of people have. They just haven't had the answer to this question.
And I had worldly success in multiple industries. So I was successful in the music business, I was successful in modeling, in television, in real estate. So I made all this money and I had all this success. And here I was going, okay, I still don't feel any different. And I had banked everything on that making me feel better, or feel happier, or really honestly feel worthy, right? I think that's what we're all searching for, is that worthy.
Success may not always make you happy, but happy people tend to be a lot more successful. Does that make sense? Let me repeat myself. Success may not always make you happy, but happy people tend to be more successful in life. But success or the pursuit of success at any cost, because then your defining parameter of happiness is now in the eyes of the world. What it means is, if you don't think you're successful in the eyes of the society around you, in the eyes of the world, you're not going to be happy, because there'll always be another guy who's appearing more successful than you. Somebody who's going to buy a bigger house. Somebody's going to buy a bigger car. Somebody's going to buy a bigger private jet, and it just never ends. You're not going to be happy even sitting in your private jet if the person you're competing with is making you look smaller in front of him because, well, he just got himself a private island. I don't know, but there's no end to that.
Happiness is an emotional response to an outcome. If I win, I will be happy. If I don't, I won't. It's an if-then, cause and effect, quid pro quo standard that we cannot sustain because we immediately raise it every time we attain it.
Which brings us to our next question. How do you define happiness? Because success may have certain definitions to it. You know, every time you achieve a career goal, every time you get a promotion, stuff like that. But coming back to the question, how do we define happiness? Well, happiness is defined as subjective well-being. One is frequent happy thoughts of satisfaction, contentment. Two, infrequent negative thoughts, which means thoughts of anger, jealousy, or just, negative emotions, loss of confidence, stuff like that. And the third thing is satisfaction with your physical health, your mental health, your relationships, and your relationship to your career and money. I'm sure there's going to be a much, much broader definition, but by and large, that's what it means. So, another subject that's linked to this inextricably is the subject of money. Success does get you money, and does money eventually get you happiness? Yes, to a degree. What does that mean? Lots and lots of studies have got different parameters, and this is obviously, these studies are America-centric in the sense the dollar amount I'm going to talk about is talking about how much it would take to make a difference to your happiness, and then after that it kind of levels off. I'll also include the graphs in here which show how much money would make you happy. But in the American context, they found that about $200,000 in a family is where your happiness tends to level off. So $200,000 is where they found when you have $200,000 coming into a family, and maybe that's gone up a little bit now, right now with the crazy inflation we have. But somewhere around that mark, the happiness tends to have diminishing returns to the amount of money you make. So they found that money can buy happiness only up to a point.
I was a millionaire. I had beautiful women in my life. I had cars, a house, an incredible, a solid gold career, and a future. And yet, on a daily basis, I wanted to commit suicide.
You're saying that having a certain amount of money doesn't bring happiness at all? Because I would actually disagree with that.
You can disagree with it if you want to.
Yeah.
But money has nothing to do with your happiness.
Why is it that so many people who seem to have it all are unhappy?
I think they've forgotten who they really are, ultimately, and as a result, they're seeking happiness outside of themselves, thinking that the drugs or the fame or the money is going to make them happy. And I found that nothing outside of yourself will make you happy unless you're truly happy inside.
So, money and happiness, it really is a paradox. They seem to be inextricably linked, but it's kind of like a paradox. And here's the simple reasons why money cannot make you happy. You will never be satisfied if you're if your brain is constantly thinking about more ways to make money, because there's always a shiny new thing. Whatever you bought today is going to become old. Your new car, your new Mercedes, your new BMW, Bugatti, whatever you got, it's going to become old, and you're going to want something. You're going to want a newer thing. No matter what you buy, there's always going to be somebody bigger, richer, or flashier than you. So once again, the pursuit of money after a point is almost useless. Money cannot buy you time after a point. What that means is, yes, it's important to have money, and money can buy you financial freedom, but it can also keep you inextricably linked to your source of that money, which means if you have a business, and if I need to work, say, 8 hours for my job, but once I have a business, I may need to work 12 hours, even 15. There's just no off button. The other thing, money cannot buy you friends. A happy disposition can buy you friends. What that means is, yes, when you have money, you may have a lot of people around you, but are they really your friends?
When those things came, the happiness wasn't there, and I realized why that was. There was such an attempt to achieve these things and to keep going that you lose sight of the people and the blessings that you have around you.
Do I feel happy in life? Let's see. Let's say I hope I'm finding happiness, but I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable. I don't know.
So, if money doesn't make you happy, success doesn't make you happy, now let's talk about regrets of the dying. Because unfortunately, it's going to happen to all of us.
And so I wonder, could you just sort of outline those top 5 regrets of the dying, and then we'll sort of maybe unpick them bit by bit?
Sure. Well, the most common, I spent 8 years looking after dying people, and the most common regret during those 8 years was I wish I'd lived a life true to myself, not the life that other people expected of me. And yeah, like you say, we'll unpack it. It's a pretty powerful one. The second most common was I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And then the third was I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. And that came from a few different angles that we can talk about. And then I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. And the fifth one, I wish I'd allowed myself to be happier.
Not being as loving to their loved ones, which means they didn't express it enough. They didn't tell them how much they loved them. They didn't take the time out to really tell them how they felt. I mean, I've lost a parent, and that's a regret that there is no car, no amount of money, no big screen TV can fill. The other regret that is very high on that list is working too hard and not enjoying life. Which means people regret the fact that they worked so much that they didn't really get to spend enough time with their loved one. Not a single one of those regrets has to do with the fact that I wish I'd worked more, I wish I'd been more successful, I wish I had made more money, I wish I had been a better employee, or I wish I'd been a better employer, or I wish I'd been a better businessman. Nope, none of them make it to the last regret or to the topmost regrets of the dying. And if we cannot learn a lesson from people who are just about to lose this precious gift called life from them, and if we think what we know in our heads to be the truth, that the pursuit of money and the pursuit of success is going to bring me happiness, then I think we really as a society need to really look within and just stop. And if we don't learn from the people who are about to lose that gift of life, expressing what their regrets are and understanding them and making our own lives better, then I don't know what is going to help.
Not having a larger family.
That my mother didn't live long enough for me to take her to Paris.
Probably not having spent more time with my parents, but they weren't here.
I regret my career choices early in life.
Having followed my dream to be an entertainer when I was younger.
I do regret that I didn't think I'd be a good parent.
That I would have known when I was younger what I know now.
That I didn't do all the things that I wanted to do, like go into acting much earlier.
How do we be happy and successful? It seems like happiness and success seem to be in this intricate dance with each other where it's almost like, yep, who's leading? Is it success that leads to happiness, or is it happiness that leads to success? Well, once again, I'm going to cite the studies, and they found that where success may not always lead to happiness, and success usually does not lead to happiness, just having a happy disposition may actually lead you to be a lot more successful. And I think it's obvious why. People like you a lot better, and if people like you, they're going to pull you to positions of power, right? If your bosses like you, if you're genuinely a person who people like to be around, then your chances of being successful, whether it's a business, whether it's, imagine if even if you're running a business, you're running a restaurant, you have a happy disposition, and someone comes to your restaurant, they're really happy. They're going to be like, I like going there because this guy's great, I like the food. But more than the food, it always comes up to, I like going to his restaurant, I like his energy, I like something about him. You ever heard that? And I think that's how you maximize the chances of your success, is by being happy first. Please, if you're living your life telling yourself that, oh, when I get to 150,000, or when I get to a six-figure salary, when I finally get to owning that nice car, or when I finally get to this stage in my life, I will stop and be happy. Nope. That's not how it works. That's not how your brain is going to work. Unfortunately, that's not how it's going to work. I'm being honest with you. So, what should we do to be happy first and then be successful? Well, I'm not Buddha, but I've been doing a lot of research into this. Well, firstly, find satisfaction. And I think it's easier said than done, but find satisfaction. If you're driving a 20-year-old beat-up car, be grateful. Just be grateful, be satisfied, because satisfaction will lead to a happy disposition, which will lead to success, which almost seems like a paradox, because that video we watched right at the beginning of Shah Rukh Khan, the famous Bollywood actor, saying, don't be happy, just pursue success at any cost. I think slow down, be happy, be content, and that will lead to more happiness and more contentment and more success. So that's number one, is be satisfied. Number two, be grateful. And I know we hear this all the time, but really there's the path to happiness, simple as it sounds, would take practice. The path to happiness is actually a pretty simple path. It just means that we have to constantly, just like we practice the principles of so-called success, work hard, work tirelessly. Similarly, practice being satisfied, practice being content. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your soul. The simple way to do that is spend time with family, friends, as much as you can. Because remember, when you die, if you're going to be on that deathbed thinking, man, I wish I'd worked a little bit more, then this video is not for you. But just spend more time with the people you love. Also, if you can, and this is hard because not everybody can do that, we all seem to be caught in this debt trap of mortgage, car payments, insurances. Unfortunately, that's just how life is. But if you can, find and do the work you love to do. Happiness is a habit that we need to inculcate. Happiness is a system with which our brain needs to operate. It's a software that we need to put in. Again, once again, I by no means have mastered this, but I think your chances of being happy go up exponentially. I don't know what SRK, Shah Rukh Khan, the Bollywood actor, is going to be like on his deathbed. I feel pretty certain saying this, that 10 years from now, I think he may want to revisit this advice, and he may not really care about this, just work, this pursue success relentlessly approach. But having said that, my friends, this is a journey in which we all can guide each other. We all need some inspiration. The happiness paradox, as I call it, because we keep waiting to be happy. I think we need to start now in being happy, and then the success will come. And if it doesn't, too bad. I'm still going to try and be happy.
Very purpose of our life, I usually describe happiness. Now happiness, the materialistic way, happiness, these are short, not long-lasting happiness. Long-lasting happiness must develop on mental level.